All right, man, we back. Mercy Sports Talk, we in the building. Appreciate everybody for checking in. The Lions lose to the Dallas Cowboys 35-27 at Ford Field today. And Prescott threw a block party today. 29 for 46, 444 through the air, 3 TDs. Let's talk about the game. We back. Mercy Sports Talk, your boy CJ Goodfella. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video, and the Lions hung early. Difference was the second quarter. Cowboys put 3 TDs up in the second quarter. That was a big difference, but go through the stat line, like I said, Prescott stats. Look at Zeke. He didn't really do much today. 16 carries, 45 yards, 1 TD. Just seems like the trend is not to pay the running back. Because each running back that got paid this offseason, big money, Gurley, Bale, understandably Bale's out for a year. And Zeke, they ain't been producing. Michael Gallup killed us. He was 9 for 148. Randall Cobb killed Justin Coleman in the slot. I know that one time Coleman slipped and fell. Cooper didn't do much today. 3 touchdowns, 38 yards. Pollard had a couple catches out the backfield for Lions. Jeff Driskel, he was 15 for 26. Not bad. 209, 2 TDs. No one INTs. Bo Scarborough from Alabama coming off the practice squad and just be signed this year. He did really well today. 14 carries, 56 yards, 1 TD. Driskel had 8 carries, 51 yards, 1 TD. Amendola had 4 catches, 47 yards. Marvin Jones had 4 catches, 43 yards, 2 TDs. And Marvin Jones has been excellent coming off the injury. I know a lot of people was asked for him to get traded last offseason, but I remember he hurt himself in camp. He never was 100%. So Jones is showing himself well this year. But Darius Slay, I think, is somebody you need to start talking about. He missed 2 interceptions, but he did a great job on Cooper, whatever the scheme was on Cooper. They didn't let Cooper beat them today. And even on a big catch that Cooper caught, Darius Slay let the ball go through his hands. But that's tough to get. That's a Deion primetime type of pick to get. But Prescott threw a high on the comeback route. And, Darius Slay jumped the route beautifully. But if Prescott throw that ball any lower, that's probably going back for a touchdown. Then he had a pick going down the sideline, which he didn't get, and Tavon Austin turned into a cornerback. But I think a lot of people seeing the impact of Darius Slay. He did a good job on Keenan Allen, contrary to what people believe he did on Keenan Allen. And then what Keenan Allen was doing to teams before and after that, obviously Los Angeles Chargers really stumbled this season. But Darius Slay doing a job. But then again, he's been a talk because he wanted to get paid. But you ain't going to find too many corners that can do what he do. Amari Cooper he just caught like 200, 300 yards, last week. And he's been tearing the league up, and Darius Slay did a good job. Meanwhile, Justin Coleman is slipping and getting cooked by Randall Cobb and giving up big touchdowns. Rashad Melvin, he is what he is. He's solid, but he got beat on a couple catches. I think Jason Witten caught a critical third down pass on him. And Jared Davis gave up a catch, I think, to the back once again. So, defensively, they gave it up. Same thing Stafford was dealing with. He putting up points, and now the defense is just falling to bits and pieces, and they're not getting enough pass rush. They send in 4, then they send 5, then they send in 3, and it's not confusing nobody, man. And Dak Prescott had his way, and when you can't consistently get pressure with 4 with a blitz, this is what's gonna happen, and this is why I say Matt Patricia need to be fired. You came in here to improve the defense, and the defense has drastically got worse under your eye. You know what I'm saying? Glover Quinn was a Pro Bowl type of safety. He came in your scheme, and now he retired. Quadre Diggs was playing well. You got rid of him. He said because you wanted Patriot voices in the locker room and not his. You bring in Justin Coleman, you give him all this money, and he getting abused in the slot. He made some plays this season, but we only remember really the really bad ones that's being made on him. But people saying, well, Pascaloni's calling the defense. Pascaloni's calling it, man. Matt Patricia got something to do in installing that game plan. He can override, but his defense let him down today. Offensively, Jeff Driskel, he done enough today, man, in my opinion. He's better than I thought he may be. He may be that. He may be the long-term solution as the backup quarterback, not the future quarterback like you would go draft one, but a guy that could be like Sean Hill, and then you can have a developmental quarterback behind him. And if you know that developmental quarterback could beat out Jeff Driskel, then you know he probably on his way to be ready to start. So I think Jeff Driskel might have found a home in Detroit. I think they're going to get another win with him. He too good not to get another win. He getting more comfortable. I mean, Darrell Bevell doing a great job with him now. Had it been Jim Bob Cooter, that's still the offensive coordinator, Jeff Driskel probably would have had a terrible game. But they're making him feel comfortable. The Lions got the targets. He had a big pass play, I think, for 39 yards to Marvin Hall on the, what is that, a deep drag or deep crossing route? I don't know what the hell they like, a post. A deep post route, man, that drags on the other side of the other side of the field. Galley had a huge catch on the logo. So, like I said, Driskel is formidable, and the more experience he get and the more he get used to Darrell Bevell's system, if Matthew Stafford do got to miss some time, like let's say next season, I think he's a guy that can win 1 or 2 critical games. He can be like, I don't want to say he going to be that, but I think he could be a Teddy Bridgewater or a Josh McDowell or Sean Hill for the Detroit Lions. Somebody that can go. I don't think he the answer to the future. He not the answer quarterback. He not what you're looking for, but you still need to draft a developmental quarterback. But I think if you get a running game, I think Driskel could have held it down for a couple weeks until until Stafford could get back. In other seasons, I think Stafford done this year. If you say 6 weeks, the Lions go to what 3-6-1. That's 10 games. So he gonna come back week 16. Come on, it's no point. Might as well sit him. I think you seeing what you got in Jeff Driskel. I thought this game would be less competitive, but the Cowboys one of them teams that play up and down in their competition, and that's not a great sign of a great team. You know what I'm saying? That's a sign of a team that's still learning to win. But I thought they would cream the Lions a lot better than that because they got tape on Driskel. They see what Driskel did from Chicago. They can see what he can do in this offense and what he can't do and what he can't quite do so well. But the Cowboys didn't do that. Driskel still, did the best impression he can do with Matthew Stafford, and he did well in both. Gave him some good yards. McKissick, he gave him some good explosive short plays. Todd Johnson didn't really do much, but at the end of the day, Matt Patricia, and shout out to the Cowboys. You know what I'm saying? They came in and did what they had to do. The Lions shut down the run, but Prescott was phenomenal today. Michael Gallup had a field day on everybody else that he faced. Obviously, Darius Slay looked like he took Amari Cooper for the most part of the day. So shout out to the Cowboys. Give them credit where credit is due, but they ain't no Super Bowl caliber team. I think two of the top teams in the NFC can fall off, and the Cowboys still wouldn't be a Super Bowl caliber team, in my opinion. And that's no Cowboy shade. It's just the team just fucking not that good. Okay? They shouldn't be struggling with a Jeff Driskel going life and death on the road, at the home, at the Alamo Bowl, and the Hawaiian Bowl. They shouldn't be struggling with this caliber team. And they should really have smoked the Detroit Lions, given these circumstances and how many fans they had at the game today. But they didn't. And if it was the fifth, we'd all be drunk. But, if they was in our division, they wouldn't be 5-4 or 6-4. They might be 4-6 in our division. Our division is pretty tough. Rodgers, the Bears, before the whole Trubisky and Akeem Spence got injured, and Trubisky, we found that he was terrible. But the Vikings, who came back, got a win versus the Broncos today. But Patricia should be fired, and I'm gonna lead that cause. You know what? I'm gonna lead that. Patricia should lose his job. Okay, Jim Caldwell lost his job because he didn't want to call the plays. He didn't want to come in and call those plays for Jim Bob Cooter or Joe Lombardi at first. And people said, well, Jim Caldwell don't show any emotion. He don't show any emotion. Neither does Matt Patricia. Other than crying before the game. For the troops or whatever. But when has he ever made it? When has he ever went for the referees? Yeah, he wore the Roger Goodell clown shirt with the Patriots when they won the championship. But when has he ever complained to her? He said the same thing Caldwell said. What was the problem with Caldwell? He had the best defensive coordinator in the position, Terrell Austin. He was better than Matt Patricia Scott Peloni put together his defenses. It's time for Matt Patricia to go. I don't care. It's time for him to go. He came here 2 years. Let's just say hypothetically he got to 6-10 this year somehow, some way, which I don't think is at the realm of possibility because Jeff Driskel is playing pretty fucking well. He's better than I thought he was. He's better than Matt Castle or Tom 21 Savage, probably, or Josh Johnson or David Blogg could have, pretty much been this season. Obviously, we know Matt Castle had a good year in New England. Could they beat the Redskins? Yeah. Could they beat the Bears at home? Yeah. The Vikings? I doubt it. The Bucks? That's possible. The Broncos? They played hard today with their third-string quarterback. Possible. The Packers' last game of the season? I doubt it, but I can see them getting 2 or 3 more wins in there. If they go 6-10, that don't save his job. Why? Why should he keep a job? Because it's your guy, Bob Quinn. I don't even hear the local media, even the biased writers that Lions hate. The way that Jim Caldwell's seat was on fire for absolutely no reason compared to this, why isn't Matt Patricia's seat on fire? Why isn't it no pressure on him? I tell you why, man. You know why it ain't no pressure on him. He got the complexion for the protection. These people ran Jim Caldwell out the city. For what? He was the winning coach. He had one losing season. That was 7-9. Look at Matt Patricia, defensive specialist, and he suck at defense. Pasqualoni suck at defense. You know what I'm saying? He losing game and game again. They mismanaged Matthew Stafford injury. He take a part of that too? Bob Quinn should be gone too. He should be gone too. They both should be out of here. But the Fords are people with many, many chances. If it was up to Mr. Ford after going on 16, he still wanted to fire Matt Millen. But you know what he did? He ended up giving Lewan and Mayhew promotions. They were with Matt Millen making all those stupid picks. But Matt Patricia, it's time to be fired. He should be fired today. I don't care what nobody say. If one of these YouTube other dudes want to come up here and be Steven from Django and say, oh, no, Bowles shouldn't be fired today. No, Calvin. No, come on, man, come with it. Because why was Jim Caldwell fired? I'm not saying I wasn't in favor for Jim Caldwell being fired. Didn't really make me no difference. But why ain't Matt Patricia's seat at least hot? Now it's going to be, he didn't have Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford was injured, and had Stafford not been injured, this team still could have made it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. The season was over when they lost to Green Bay, in my opinion. So, like I said before, Matt Patricia need to be fired. He another list of a long Patriot assistant coach rejects. Bill O'Brien got smoked today. Romeo Crennel sucked in the league. Charlie Weiss sucked in the league. Sucked in college, excuse me. Brian Flores down in Miami, getting stumped out. Josh McDaniels sucked with the Denver Broncos. Mike Vrabel, I don't know if he was on their staff, but he a player. He's solid in Tennessee. He's solid. But all I'm saying is, why ain't time for him to be fired? Why ain't nobody wearing paper bags? Why ain't no signs of us tired fire Patricia? Patricia's by far worst. He's by far worse than Jim Caldwell. Why? Why ain't nobody asked for him to be fired? I think it's unfair. Why his seat ain't at least hot? He gonna get as much time as he want to keep failing and failing again. He supposed to be a defensive specialist. You paid all this money to Flowers. You pay all this money to Coleman. You bring in guys that fit your system. You know what I'm saying? You brought in Tavai. You liked him. You know what I'm saying? You paid Christian Jones. Your general manager brought in Rick Wagner. He brought in TJ Lang. He brought in Taylor Decker. He brought in Graham Glass. The whole offensive line, all them offensive linemen, the backups, Crosby, Wiggins, Dow, whichever one you want to go with. He brought those guys in. TJ Hawkinson, he spent a high draft pick on the tight end, knowing the history. Knowing it's going to take time for a tight end to grow into that position. But you know what? They must got time. They know they got time to tear it down and build it up the right way. And we'll see. But if they tearing it down the way it is, the roster turnover is high, and they tearing it down, they burning it down, they going to build it that way, and they drop the ball, then somebody else got to come in, tear it down, Build it that way. That way. Come on, the Tease Tabor pick. Garbage. Not drafting a running back. Staying with Amir Abdullah, who fumbled today and almost lost the Vikings the game. You know, Bob Quinn ain't getting half the backlash that Martin Mayhew did. Martin Mayhew was bad. I think Bob Quinn was better than him. Not gonna lie. But coaching wise, but free agent wise, Martin Mayhew was better than Bob Quinn. But it's still pretty premature. But Matt Patricia should be fired. He should. He should be fired today. Him and Mark D'Antonio should be going to the bar somewhere between Lansing and Detroit and having a drink together, saying we fired. They should be fired right now. Right now. Both of them. D'Antonio should have been fired after the Illinois game. But Patricia should be fired today. But hey, congratulations to the Cowboys. They beat us 35-27. Let me know what you guys thought about the game. Don't forget me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Hey, man, reach out to the email if you got business questions, car response, video question, want to make a donation. Links in the description. One time for the one time. Mercy Sports Talk. We gone.